Hi sweeties, how are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, sweetheart, kindly smash that subscribe button, turn your notification so you are notified each time I upload, and please give this video a thumb up. I appreciate you all so much, and I am saying a very big shout out to every one of you for all the love and support you are showering me here, and to all my members, I appreciate you all. You all are super sweet. So today we'll be talking something very important, and it's about a video a black woman actually made saying that she hates white palm-colored people, right? And actually a palm-colored boy actually came for him saying that you made a video that you do not like white people, and when people started bashing you, you started pointing fingers at everybody. And then I am saying a very big shout out to Jay. I mean, that young man is very brilliant, and I love the way he handles things, and very smart and intelligent. A very big kudos to him. Shout out to him. I am so proud for what he is doing in black community, and always coming through for black community, always speaking up when there is need for it, because there is nothing like a smart young man who believes so much in himself and also believe in black community, always coming through, always coming out when it is needed. Jay, this is me saying a very huge shout out to you. So this video, he actually tackled it very well, because he came with his own explanation about the rate decision that is going on among both, like, in black community, right? And he said that rate decision begets rate decision, right? So it's quite unfortunate how, like, other people, or like especially colored people, do not want to, like, receive the hits they give out, because they are always out there to give hits to black people. But then when black people try to, like, extend that greetings to them, they start screaming revert to the season, when there is nothing like that. I keep saying it, forget about it, stop talking about it, it does not exist, and all that. And most of the things, all the times you see black people not saying that they do not trust colored people, it is not because they want to say that, but because it is how it's been. And I do not blame anybody for saying that they do not trust anyone or something. So I'm just gonna roll this clip. We'll come back to talk about it. I absolutely want to read all your comments. Let me know what you are thinking.
Jeffrey Mead, you are a fucking coon.
The lack of accountability here is insane. You made a video saying, I hate white people. And when people gave you backlash for it, you started pointing fingers at everybody else.
Okay, if you're short on time, is it okay to say that you hate white people? No. Does racism beget other racism? Yes. Do I find it incredibly frustrating that the same people that seem to be factually incorrect on nearly every issue regarding race relations in the United States, and seem to be actively working against creating a society in which racism is not tolerated in any form, seem to be the only ones who know exactly what racism is the millisecond a black person does it, but seem to be oblivious every time every other instance of racism happens? I do find that incredibly fucking frustrating. In short, I don't think anybody should be racist to anybody, or that anybody should hold any preconceived notions about someone else based on the color of their skin. But are there very concrete differences that one must understand in the effect and origin when a black person says something about a white person as opposed to the other way around, that everyone just seems to be deliberately missing here? Yes, indeed. And it all seems to stem from a racial power imbalance that was not created by black people in this country. Okay. Now, what did I mean by that? The original context of this situation is that this creator made a video about a white woman who was using a hair oil that's owned by a black-owned company. In her video, she says that she hates white people. Conservatives then seize this opportunity to talk about how this is black privilege, this is racism and discrimination at its finest. This creator then responded to Jeff Mead calling him the C-word, among other things, dissecting his video. And then we got more responses from conservatives, talking about how this is racism, we can't blame white people for all our problems, take accountability, blah, blah, blah. Now, what are my thoughts? I think that there has been, and there continues to be, multiple ways in which white people insert themselves, commodify, and appropriate black culture in negative ways. Case in point, people like this creator, whose entire grift is just imitating black culture. She literally has a publicist telling her to be more controversial and do all these things that she knows is incorrect. But while I disagree with the original content creator here, because I don't think it's okay to hate white people, I can also understand the averseness to white people partaking in certain aspects of black culture, because most of the time it's not just some random girl putting hair oil in. Most of the time it's appropriating different things like hairstyles that black people literally had to stop stop themselves from wearing and assimilate by doing things like straightening their hair in the workplace in order to be taken more seriously, that white people will just put on because it looks trendy to them. Or it'll be something like 70% of hip-hop consumers being white, but we still hear stuff like the black community is to blame for its own problems because they listen to and they rap about the things that they do. Which is funny, because if the disproportionately black music industry is the one that also causes all the problems, why do white people not seem to suffer from any of those problems? Stuff like that, where different elements of black culture will be constantly demonized until the millisecond white people can make it look cool or fashionable. But this brings me back to my broader point. Why is it that society doesn't seem to treat racism coming from black people towards white people the same way that it does the other way around? Is it because me and other black people in broader society just don't care about white people and we need to start treating them like how we did black people in the past? No, it's because, and I feel like all of you are being incredibly disingenuous if you don't acknowledge it, that this country and its race relations treat these things completely different because they are completely different. They're both the same in that racism in all forms is bad, but where it's coming from and what it does to people generally is completely different depending on context. Black people have been on the receiving end of slavery, Jim Crow, convict leasing and debt peonage, drug war, redlining, the construction of a system that's demonized one group of people's skin color so much that many people within that demographic harbor self-hatred and negative stereotypes about people who look just like them. But those stereotypes and those things that have led to all this hatred towards this demographic of people were not created by that demographic of people. In other words, the negative associated with the category of black in the United States were not put there as some biological reality. They were put there and constructed for the sole purpose of keeping an entire demographic of people as second class or subhuman. Which means that oftentimes when we hear racist talking points, racist dog whistles and everything parroted by black, white people, everyone alike, they are based off of these same lies and misrepresentation that were meant to hurt people. But like I said, racism begets racism. So if you and your family grow up in this country or this area where for the most part, one demographic of people has been making up these lies about you and constructing this image about you for no other reason besides the color of your skin, do we really expect that those people are gonna just take that in stride and remain positive and come out on the right side of everything? No, many people will fight fire with fire and do that same thing back to people. And then many people, like the content creators I'm responding to, seem to only get up out their chair and raise an objection whenever those people do fight back fire with fire, whilst acting like the original fire doesn't exist or went anywhere. Is that good? No. But I can contextualize why many black people have the negative opinions that they do of white people, and if we're going to call out racism, why is it that the people who are always first in line to call out black people being racist always act oblivious to all other forms of racism? We know for the most part that conservatives don't believe in systemic racism, and they attribute all the ills and bad stuff in the black community to just personal moral failing despite having no evidence to back that up. Even in the video I'm responding to, the creator says,
white people who say things like, well, if he had just complied with the police, and think that black on black crime is a thing.
How are you going to say that black on black crime is not a thing? It's just as real as white on white crime. On white on black crime, on black on white crime. The existence of these things aren't based on opinions. It's fact. It's real. These are real categorizations of crime.
When we know that it isn't. The term black on black crime got its origins in black communities in the 70s, not being used as a catchphrase whenever people say Black Lives Matter, but as a genuine question. Read the screen, it's very interesting. In fact, the earliest references can be found in 1979 in Ebony magazine, and it says, although the black community is not responsible for the external conditions that systematically create breeding grounds for crime, the community has the responsibility of doing what it can to attack the problem from within. And while that may be a wishful way to think about things, the truth is that black on black crime or violence is a product of concentrated poverty and residential segregation. Residential segregation that has still not been corrected, and concentrated poverty that still persists. But we never hear the full message and everything behind it whenever someone brings up black on black crime. And despite how real you try to make it seem, nobody says the phrase white on white crime, unless it's immediately following talking about black on black crime. People who commit crimes in general tend to commit those crimes against people of the same race as them, or kill people of the same race as them, for multiple reasons, none of which having to do with race. So you naming that phenomena, black on black crime, something that explicitly invokes race into a situation where there is no racial component, is you putting a racial component on it. Is it starting to make sense why no one says white on white crime? Because white people, for whatever reason, have been spared from having something like criminality or violence tied to their race. And that's not an accident. So while it is bad for anybody to hate anybody based off the color of their skin or another immutable characteristic, and I have to keep saying that because I know somebody's gonna respond response to this video saying, "I'm justifying racism," which means they weren't listening. But the reason why black people oftentimes have brash negative opinions about white people is because we live in a society that was structured from everything from its norms to its legal system to ensure that these group of people would hold resentment due to the way they were being treated by majority white people. And the reason why our society doesn't tolerate as much white people having negative opinions about black people is because the negative conceptions and the negative stereotypes that have been attributed to black people were attributed based off of false premises and misinformation in order to demonize those people and to justify the enslavement, the second-class citizenship, and the mistreatment of those people, because it's a lot easier to treat somebody like shit if you don't view them as human. So when white children are taught those exact same lies over and over again that leads to them disliking black people, it does nothing but uphold that previous power structure that we all can agree was horrible and racist. You guys all know this on some deep level, but maybe you just can't put it into words. Or maybe you don't, because I'm pretty sure all of you have used the talking point, "but if a white person said it," as if that's not the whole point, because they have. The difference is when black people say these things, a white person might get their feelings hurt, or worst case scenario, they're one of the very few people who got canceled and got fired from a job. Again, not good at all. But when white people say these things about black people and believe these things about black people and teach it to their children, as a product of our history and mainly white people being the #1 political bloc, black people's livelihoods, humanity, property, rights, and literally everything else are now at the mercy of this misinformation. I could say mayo monkeys and make fun of white people's hair all day, and not a single person is gonna get kicked out of school, get fired, or lose out on a job opportunity because of it. That cannot be said the other way around. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
Than everybody else.
Okay, if you're short on time, is it okay to say that you hate white people? No.
But why? Genuine question, why? The entirety of the world has justifiable reasons to feel the way they feel. And what has caring about them, being respectful, trying to educate them, where has that gotten us? And caring for them or anything like that is not going to stop their racism.
This is all I got from the stitches, and before we get into this video, I am going to say a very big shout out to JJ Williams. He is such a very smart person, super smart, I mean a genius, and I absolutely love to see his video because he really he does his research absolutely well, and he is also doing great for black community as a whole, and I just love everything about him. So I don't even know him. I don't even know his family, but man, I am super proud, very proud of him. So let's get into this video. And let me start by saying that the parties already deleted the videos. I could not find it from their page and all that. But I am super sure that you definitely understood everything that played out from this. And you all saw the coons, the wolf guy and Jeff. You know how they do their thing. They always look for a way to criticize black community or black people, even when they are also black. But that is their own way. They don't look, I don't know, but it is their way, and that is what it is, and I do not care about. And the white boy that came out to tackle the woman to say that she said that she hate white people. I am not saying hating anybody is a good thing, like Jay say. It is not okay to say you hate, but then if it's what somebody want to say, let them say, if that is going to make them feel better and all that. Colored people, they have proven to, black people times without numbers that they cannot be trusted and the rest of it. But then I think people always also give them the long rope, if you prove that you are an ally or you can be trusted and the rest of it, that you get their trust and all that. But then people voicing out their opinion or saying how they feel about a particular thing or about a particular system that has been oppressing them for so long. And some people, it is just crazy how you tell people about the systems that has been set up or from the onset that is still oppressing black people to this very moment. They look at you like you are being crazy, or you are, especially the conservatives. I have seen them countless times coming out to, and then I found out that most of them do not actually care about what people think or how people feel or how black people feel. They are just always into their pocket because they just want to fill their pockets and they do not care about what anybody think and the rest of it. Because I have taken my time to check all of them, the ones that I see on TikTok and the rest of it. But then it is the path they have chosen, and let them continue with the path they have chosen, right? And then let's keep talking about a system that has been oppressing Black people from the onset, the segregation, Jim Crow, which eventually came back. I mean, the segregation never even stopped. It is still here in so many ways, redlining and the rest of it. And then some people, am I talking about, okay, redlining, police brutality, and housing facility? That is, yes, when Black people cannot even get loan and the rest of it. When Black women cannot also wear their natural hair because it is called unprofessional and all that. The systemic oppressions and the rest of it. Where are we going to start and where are we going to stop? So it's a whole lot of system that has been set up. I mean, when we keep saying it, it looks like, like we are repeating ourselves over this, but this has actually been there all this while. And are we talking about the CIA when they plant, all these things, when I keep talking, it looks like some people do not understand, or maybe I am trying to make up stories and the rest of it. But all these are the system oppressing Black people, and many more. And then when people expresses how they feel about a particular race, because everything they have set up has from the onset has in kind of proven that we just have to demonize these people, or make them feel less of themselves and make us feel great of ourselves and all that. You think they will not scream? You think they will not shout? You think they will not get upset at some point? So when you see them saying all this, screaming and shouting, it is them expressing how they feel. And then people turn around to scream, reverse, rate to the season and the rest of it. And I keep saying it, people, there is nothing like reverse rate to the season. Let it go. Stop talking about it. Anyway, I don't even want to talk so much. This is where I'm going to draw my curtain. Thank you so much for the support. I'll see you all in my next video. Bye for now.